Welcome. Welcome everyone. I am Deepak, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Mahatma Gandhi Central University. Today we are here to debate on a very important topic, how to prepare for UGC NET. We all either are masters or completed master or are PhD scholars, but without NET. The most fundamental question that we are facing, what to read and how to read and which topic should be covered. We need much insight, and several times we go with different notes from different coaching institute, and also in need of several friends guidance, especially those who have cracked UGC NET. Sometimes we get good advice, other time we do not, and in between we spent most of our time in irrelevant books and irrelevant topics. And the aim of this video is to give uh, some insight on topic how to prepare for exam. And I have a handful of books which could be important for the preparation. These books are not necessarily the fundamental, rather you can add or remove as per your comfort. Although when I crack my JRF, I took help of these books, and I find them more important. Some of books you already have or must them by their title, but it is not necessary that all should be there. Yeah, but the first thing that I get to read is the very popular and perhaps the cheapest book is English Literature by William J. Long. This is most important book, and you can say that this is my basic. Why I choose this book as the first book? This book is defining history till modern century, till the very beginning of British literature in English, and that's why. Second important thing is defining all topics in detail and in lucid language. The most important points of this book is where the chapter ends. For example, if we are going with the first chapter, Anglo-Saxon period, then the book is having its summary kind of thing, especially in the close, that is summary of chapter at the close of it, and this everything that they cover in the whole chapter is in that part, and in this way you can make your notes very speedy. And another good point of this book, at the end of each chapter there is a chronology, and this chronology is divided into two segments. First is defining the historical aspect of age, and second, what is the literary significance of that age. And it is followed in each age. And more importantly, each writer or each age is covered in that with different aspects. For example, if you are going with the 18th century literature, it begins with the history of period, and then it defines some social development in different paragraphs, and age of prose, satire, classical age, and then comes different points of forward, and then comes writer. And the first writer that it is defining, Alexander Pope, who is also the representative of age, or at least till first half. Then come his important works, Essay on Criticism, Rape of Locke, and his translation, and then Essay on Man, and some other miscellaneous work. In that sense, each writer is divided into different segments, and with paragraph, so it becomes very easy for reader to identify it, and to correlate with the book. The most problem that we face in English literature, we are having several books with us. Instead of reading all one book, we focus on all. But what we should do, we should choose one book as a basic book. You can took any book. For example, I am having this book also, History of English Literature by Edward, and then this one, History of English Literature by Edward, and Andrew Sanders, and then this one Hudson, and I for Evans. This one is here, and then the most important, this one Oxford. Before we go with these books, let's say why we should have a fundamental book. For example, if we are having this book as the fundamental, then it covers nearly all characteristics, and sometimes several things are ignored or not written, then we can make other book as helpful book. So if I consider this book as a basic book, then what should be my other helpful books? And in case of other helpful book, I will choose this one Oxford book. This Oxford book is having nearly all things that we need. If For example, if you are reading Alexander Pope, then you can open this book and the page that covers Alexander Pope, and then you can read the biography details of it. And then if you are reading Essay on Man, then you can also open the page Essay on Man from here and read, and then you find the difference between them. And after this difference is covered, you can make notes from it. For example, you have make notes from this book Essay on Man, and left some space in between, and then quote from there. In this way there would be two different aspects. And in case of third, if you are going, you can also use this one History of English Literature, uh, Edward Albert, and also follow the same procedure. But these books will work like this one also, and these two are also, these are very small books. Doesn't matter which book you make your basic, you can also make this one book as your base, or this book as your base, and more importantly you can also make this book a base, or it could be this one also, or both of these two also. Need of the day is to make one book as your basic. It could be any book. For example, if I am choosing this one as basic, others should be helping books. With these books you can make something which is very helpful for you and give you more insight. Instead of focusing more on the notes that is given to you by your friend, coaching institute and others, you should make your own note. It does not mean that you have to reject entirely the notes or works that is given by your friends. No, it means first make your own notes, because you will gain more knowledge when you are making your notes. Because if you are reading others note, you are just reading it or you are just noting it. But when you are quoting from reading or writing from books, then your mind is working three or four way. For example, if I am reading this book and making notes from Rape of the Lock, then I am reading it, first reading, then I am trying to write it. And when we write, we first read the book and then write, and mind think twice. Like first we read, then read and write, and the process of mind would be slow, it would take long time. But once your notes are complete, for example Rape of the Lock, if you make notes from these three books, this one and this one, three, you make your notes and then move to your coaching notes or your friend's note, then find what is missing from there. If something is missing, put it there. Now note is in your handwriting. Once you are writing in your hand, by your hand, then you become more powerful, more strong, more confident instead of notes. Another reason, if you are reading from notes, the mind has a capacity to memorize, and when you are reading notes, that is memorization. But when you are writing by your hands, that is just concreting the facts. And if concrete is the fact, then it would be very helpful for you to go in a way that you can go with. For example, but again the fundamental question is, which is your basic book? It can be this one, it can be this one, it can be this one, or any other book, whether it could be this one. Like in case of all three books, if I choose the easy books, then I think these are easy works, and this one, but these are not all alone things, as we are having several books, and in one lecture it would be very hard to define all the books. So we will come again for part 2 of this lecture, and this information, you could say, not a lecture, and then we will define more way, and it is the first lecture of series how to prepare for UGC net. In second we will continue this segment, and in third we will define how we can read a particular basic book. For example, if it is our basic book, how to read it. For example, if we take a time tenure of 6 months, how you can finish this book in 6 months. How to make notes, that we will learn in third lecture, and in this way we will prepare ourselves for the coming UGC net, JRF or GATE exam, so that we can get fellowship, jobs and other things. And all is possible when we have a strategy. So in the third lecture or third informative video, we will see how to prepare for UGC net, or what should be the strategy, or how to read, what to read and what not to read. Because when we are going to prepare for UGC net or JRF, it is not important what to read, it is more important what not to read, because we know what to read. For example, we have this book or this book, we know we have to read this book or these two books, but what should be, what should not be read from these books, that is more important, and this we will learn in third lecture. And I hope I am able to give you some insight on these things. And on second lecture we will discuss, that is second part of this lecture, we will discuss what type of competitive books we should read. For example, Upkar publication is there, Drishti is there, and so many other publications. How what, in what strategy we have to follow them. And I hope next time we will go. If you like my point, do comment, like and share with it to your friends, it would be very helpful, and I feel very happy if all of you like, at least like and comment on this page. With this, thank you, take care, and hopeful all of you will be a future professor like me, in some central university, state university, some colleges, or you must be some principal in some institute. And till then, good day, goodbye, see you again all in second video. And on a end note, this is a lecture series of a long part that will define how to prepare for UGC net, JRF for your future. And till then, take care, goodbye, and see you again in next lecture. Keep watching, keep liking, keep commenting and keep sharing. Thank you, good day.